My name is Nickel, Nickel, and these are two weird glitches in Super Smash Bros. The first one will be for Sheik, and the second will be for the Killager, aka the Villager, aka the round-faced murderer. This video is brought to you by Lucre, which is a monthly subscription service that is filled with a bunch of gaming and pop culture gear and often has a bunch of cool exclusives. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you guys about the Super Smash Bros. Special broadcast that's coming from Nintendo this month. Leave a comment with what you think they'll be announcing during the special broadcast, and after it happens, I'll come back to this video to see if anyone was able to actually correctly guess it. So leave your wildest guesses down below of what you think they might be announcing. Let's jump right into Sheik. A few people had mentioned this to me on Twitter, and someone even showed me something somewhat similar that you can do with Yoshi, but when I started playing around with this, I was surprised to find that it actually did work, and that was surprising because nobody that talked about it had a clip where it was successfully pulled off. You'll need to go to Battlefield as Sheik in order to do this. Usually when you do Sheik's grab and throw down, the opponent will fly upwards, which is what almost always happens. But for some reason, if you're facing off against Zero Suit Samus and you're standing in the right location, you can actually make her shoot down. Since this is a pretty common matchup, if you put some time into really nailing this and it happens to not be patched out down the line, I would guess that you might be able to actually find some occasional use out of it, especially if you main Sheik. The first couple times I pulled this off, I didn't really know what was happening, so I ended up having to slow the footage way down so I could see what was causing it. Was it my foot placement, the distance of the grab, the timing of the down throw, or the direction that the opponent was facing? Those were a couple of the questions I had when going in to look at the slowed down footage. When I first started looking at this, I thought maybe the opponent had to have her back to me, but it turns out that wasn't true. In this one, you can see that Zero Suit Samus is directly facing me. There's a bit more of the area under me that's floating on air than is actual stage. She got really close to me, I grabbed her, the game corrects the distance between us, the down throw looks like it glitched her orientation so her body kind of goes through the stage, and then she blasts downwards. Upon first look, the best guess that I could make was that her body was just far enough off the stage during the down throw that the game also corrects that distance and assumes that she is actually off the stage even though her body is going through the stage. Even the times where it didn't blast her downward, it would temporarily slice her body in half with the stage. So once I saw this occur, I immediately wanted to try it with a bunch of other characters. I started with Samus to see if I could get the same effect to occur, and to an extent it did because it sent her body off the stage suspended in the air for a brief moment, but it didn't blast her downwards, so it's not exactly useful. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't get this to work with Samus, even though my original theory was being tested here about how half the body needs to be in a space that is off the stage during the down throw animation, but yet it still didn't work. This is pretty much what happened with every character I tried this out with. They would halfway glitch the stage if they were in the right place, but that would be the end of it, because they wouldn't be blasted downwards. Of course, this needs a lot more testing over time to know what's going on here for sure, but maybe I'll update you guys in the future if I find anything new. But the only short-term immediate conclusion that I can put together is that it's Sheik's grab and down throw reacting strangely to Zero Suit Samus' model itself, within the context of this specific stage, because I also tried it on other stages. So if you try this out with other characters and it happens to work for someone else, let me know. I'd be interested to mess with it more. Next up is Da Villager. Yes, there already is a whole separate video on Villager that you can check out here, but this glitch isn't in that video. This one is newer and potentially actually useful. You know how Villager can pocket items like it's no big deal? Well, usually Villager can only hold these items for 30 seconds before they disappear. Characters that have specials that create items that only allow one copy of that item while they're out don't really want Villager to pick up their item because then they basically lose a move. Diddy Kong is one of those characters with his bananas, Rob is another one with his blade, and Bowser Jr. is also affected by this with his Mecha Koopa because you can actually pick those up. Here's where the glitch comes in. If you pocket any holdable item and then you have another item that's in your hand, you can keep the item that's in your pocket there permanently without having to refresh it if you simply down B. As long as there is an item in your hand and there's one in your pocket, when you down B, you can keep the item that's in your pocket there indefinitely. I chose to display the timer on the screen so you can see the exact moment when I have the item in my pocket, the item in my hand, and then I do the down B. You can use the timer to count for yourself how many seconds I have it in my pocket. It's always going to be a lot more than 30 seconds while I'm doing this glitch, which is not supposed to happen. It's supposed to only be a maximum of 30 seconds. If a Diddy Kong who tends to overuse the bananas had this happen to them, you can imagine how thrown off they might be. Because that Diddy Kong's banana would be in your pocket, which means they can't use it until you decide to take it out of your pocket and get rid of it. He'd be completely bananaless. D-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-N-A-L-S. It might seem like that would be useless since items are turned off in a lot of matches, but Villager can create his own item by using his down B to grow and then cut the tree that will produce wood. In most of these clips, I actually do that after obtaining the item, but the more practical thing to do would be to already have the wood pocketed, so when they throw out the item, you can grab their item and then switch items between pocketed and the one in the hand. That way you can choose which one you want to keep permanently. So in this case, Diddy Kong can't use his banana right now because I have it pocketed, and even if he dies, I still have a banana in my pocket. This works with other characters that throw items too, but most of the other characters have an infinite supply already. So you could technically keep Link's bomb in your pocket and save it the whole match for the right moment, but it obviously won't prevent him from being able to use bombs. You can see that here with Pac-Man. I take his fruits, but he's still able to use it. My name is Nickel, Nickel, and I hope you liked the video. It was probably one of the most requested videos for this series that I've had so far, and they were really interesting to me because they're two glitches that theoretically, if you wanted to, you could actually try to incorporate them into your playstyle and actually use them. It might only happen every once in a while, but you could still technically try and use them. Leave a comment down below for any other weird glitches you'd like to see, along with your guesses for what's going to be in the announcement of the Super Smash Bros. Special broadcast, I think they called it. If anyone actually gets it, they call it this early, that would be kind of crazy. If you still haven't checked out Pokemon in the Grand Theft Auto world, don't forget to check that out. And now, let's talk Loot Crate. The theme of this month's Loot Crate is the Galaxy Crate. 5 of the items in December's Loot Crate are exclusive items, meaning you can only get them through Loot Crate. One of them is a t-shirt, one of them is a Funko Pop, which are the figures with the big heads. And starting in December, Loot Crate will have a t-shirt in every Loot Crate. You have until December 19th to get the crate if you want the Galaxy Crate for December, and you can get them through lootcrate.com/onickel and use the code ONICKEL to save 10%. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a suggestion down below so I know what the next video will be about. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.